Welcome back, my nieces and nephews, to another episode of Fun Uncle, where I'm dishing out cold, hard slaps of truth like my life depends on it. And boy, oh boy, do we have a fun one for you today. We got an episode chock full of crypto news, like the crypto app download spike 280% following the Super Bowl ads. Senator Cynthia Lummis says the Federal Reserve should buy Bitcoin. El Salvador's Bitcoin bonds could get an extra $5 billion infusion. And lastly, Bitcoin is now ready to surge, according to this crypto analyst. And we're starting with the Super Bowl right out of the gate, as that Coinbase ad had 280% spike in its downloads. You guys remember the QR code Coinbase ad that really caught everybody's attention. Like, they did it right. They made it a really long one. They got the 60-second version, cost them $7 million per 30-second chunk, so $14 million in total, and a QR code that stood out because it wasn't a cinematic film. It didn't have any big all-star actors. It was just a QR code for you to scan. And for one, it was marketing brilliance because it really caught our attention and made us get up off our couches and scan it to figure out what it was. But secondarily, it kind of missed the mark because most people who scan QR codes with their cell phones already know about Bitcoin and probably already own some Bitcoin. You don't see a lot of baby boomers, scanning QR codes or even really knowing what they are. And so I think they might have missed the mark just a little bit on that avenue. But other than that, they did spike 280%. They're estimating that they're probably going to make $36 million off of the amount of new users they got. So they're definitely going to make their money back on the Super Bowl commercial. But huge news, nevertheless, that it really was the crypto bowl. Cryptocurrencies took over the Super Bowl, and it means it's a force to be reckoned with, like it's coming in hot. American truckers are planning a convoy to Washington. The group raises over $100K. If you guys don't know about this, there was a convoy of truckers that are blocking an access way between Canada and America. They're doing so because of the vaccine mandate in Canada. And so they're saying, okay, well, if you're not going to placate to the truckers, the truckers are just going to stop driving. And you know what? They're going to take it one step further, and they're going to blockade one of the major thoroughfares between U.S. and Canada with their massive trucks. And it's gotten to the point now where Canada has had to file an emergency decision to freeze all of the bank accounts for these truckers so that they will be starved out and they have to give up their protests at a certain point. Kind of fascist that the government has that amount of control over you. And what's more is that GoFundMe had a $10 million raise. People put in $10 million into GoFundMe to help support these truckers, and GoFundMe brick-walled it, stonewalled Jackson them, and would not let them get any of that $10 million. And you know what I thought the whole time? This looks pretty good for Bitcoin. Bitcoin isn't going to freeze on you. There isn't some tyrannical government that's going to shut down your account on you. If someone gives you $10 million of Bitcoin, it's going to go to you. There is not going to be some intermediary, middleman who can stonewall Jackson that money coming your way. And so I think this is just great news for Bitcoin. If people want to protest in the future, they're going to know that the only way to do it is with some kind of cryptocurrency. Stop using the government's money to protest against the government. They're trying to have more control over you. And Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, calls Canada's use of banks to stifle protesters dangerous. I agree. If you keep locking people out of their money, they will uprise. They will turn on you. You want to keep us happy. We are the ones who really run the government, not you. And Charles Hoskins says that Canada is a fascist regime for what they're doing. I believe so too. This is very tyrannical. You should not have this kind of control over your citizens. And what's more is you should hear them out. When you have enough citizens complaining about something, enough who can shut down your economic trade, that's when you should start listening. You shouldn't start putting more stricter mandates on people who are already pissed. It's time to shut up and listen. And so I think Canada is completely missing the mark. I had a lot of respect for Canada, and they're definitely dropping the ball on this one. So a country I do have a lot of pride on is El Salvador, as their Bitcoin bonds get an extra $5 billion infusion. They've got $1 billion already in the sidelines, ready to go. And this is just exciting news that countries There are whole countries buying the dip right now. So if you are fearful of the recent price action in Bitcoin and overall cryptocurrency markets, then you're missing the point. This country is buying the dip. A country, massive organizations, Tesla, billion-dollar institutions, hedge funds are all buying Bitcoin and are buying this dip. Not financial advice, but you should be too. Not financial advice. U.S. Senator Cynthia Lumen says the Federal Reserve should buy Bitcoin. Yes, they should. It's a great hedge against inflation. Not financial advice, but you as users should be doing the same. I think that it will be a part of every person's portfolio in the future, and America in many ways is behind the eight ball on this one. Brazilian asset manager Hashdex launches DeFi and ETF on local stock exchange. So countries, again, just like El Salvador, Brazil is just like, oh, of course we got to get in on this. Like, and then Cynthia is just like, hey, maybe we should consider it, while Brazil and El Salvador are already like billions of dollars deep into it, and the U.S. government is still just twiddling their thumb, just like, maybe we should possibly consider it. Maybe when you have some time, next in between planning the next insurrection, maybe we should get some Bitcoin on the line. I don't know. And then Sequoia Capital is looking to raise $600 million for a new crypto fund. It's never $60 or $600,000 or $6 million. It's always hundreds of millions, if not billions, $5 billion that is going into cryptocurrencies, and sometimes all Bitcoin. And so the fact that these massive capital fund, VC fund, countries and you name it are getting into Bitcoin, that's some pretty good news. That's some pretty good long-term news that I am licking my chops over right now. And Bitcoin is now ready to surge, according to crypto analyst Nicholas Merton. I agree with you. I think this is the bottom. We have been just dragging our buns across the ocean floor for a while now, testing to find out where the real bottom is. And I kind of just at this point now, we're like, if it was going to drop to 20,000, it would have done so already. You know, like if there were enough paper hands that had been FOMO'd out, they would have been shooken out by now. I feel like the market at this point is mostly people who have a long-term mindset on this and are putting their money where their mouth is and are just going to lock it up. You know, and then you also have to take into consideration like how many people have their money put into staking, like ETH 2.0 or Hex or any of the other assets on crypto.com, where you can just stake it, lock it up. You can't touch it even if you wanted to, and they're paying you out a percentage on a weekly basis sometimes. And so I think that if it were going to drop, it would have already. Right now, it's just day traders and bots trying to scalp a little bit more money off the top and the bottom of people's trades. And then also, it's big organizations and exchanges trying to liquidate people who bought shorts or conversely bought longs. You know, pump it up if people bought shorts and then drop it down if people bought longs. But they're really starting to find out that there's a range. You can't dump it any further than this, and you can't pump it any further than this. So at some point, we're going to find out that this is the bottom. You can't drop it any further than this, and money will start to inflow again. Sentiment will change. More retail investors will hop in. People who have hundreds of millions of dollars who've been waiting for some kind of confirmation will go, oh, okay, finally we have confirmation. Let's buy. You know, there are more people willing to miss out on a 20% gain just so they can confirm that the momentum is heading the way it's heading. So I think that's a lot of what's going on right now, is people are just waiting to see what happens. And more often than not, people who try to time the market end up missing it completely, as it shoots up when you least suspect it at like 3 a.m. When everyone's pants is around their ankle. So it's better just to daily cost average and be in the market ready to ride the wave when it happens. And if you're contemplating a sell right now because you're afraid it might go down further, well, the best thing to do is nothing. When you have no plan and you're not sure when, where, how, or why you're going to make back your losses, it's kind of best just to just wait. You know, like if you don't have a plan, then don't act on emotion. You know, maybe that's the best piece of advice this old uncle could give anyone at this point right now, is just wait. This too shall pass. Well, that's the whole box of Cheddar Bay biscuits, my nieces and nephews. Thanks again for stopping by and watching this episode. Always, if you could do me a favor and just crush the like and the subscribe. Tell me what you think of the content down in the comments below. And then also check out my new Clips channel. The link is in the description. It is where you can see clips of Fun Uncle content from across all networks in one place. And also, keep your ear to the ground for the massive things that are taking place at Hard Fork Gaming in 2022. And then in closing, I want to give you an update on my NFT project, the Fun Uncle League Loungers. If you remember, it's 200 unique tropical themed NFTs that are chocked full of unlockable content. The most important update is the 4th riddle is now live. Inside of the unlockable content, I have 4 riddles. If you solve any one of those riddles and you're the first one to email me the answer, I will hit you with $100 in Ethereum right into your wallet. All you have to do is pick up an NFT, go to the unlockable content. The new riddle video is now live. First one to solve it, email with the answer. It's as easy as that. And most importantly, these NFTs are on sale. The prices are down right now. So the prices of NFTs have dropped, but the prizes have remained the same. I am an uncle of my word, and so I am dishing out $100 in Ethereum every time. The first 3 riddles have already been solved. The 4th one is live. I got 1 more after that. So get your riddles while you can. Get your pineapples, your Fun Uncle League Loungers while you can. And if you think you have the chops to break one of my riddles, head on over to OpenSea today.